on the fragment titled D.I.Y. Destruction. It reads, in its entirety, if you want something done right, then you have to do it to yourself. Ah, this one. It cuts straight through like wire through clay. This is not just a clever turn of phrase. This is a blade disguised as an instruction manual, a dare concealed in a household proverb. It says, if you want something done right, then you have to do it to yourself. That sounds practical, industrious, responsible even. But look again, read slowly. This fragment doesn't just advocate for personal responsibility, it whispers something far more dangerous, more liberating, more precise. It speaks of destruction, and not just destruction, as in breaking things or walking away from what no longer serves. No, this is destruction inwardly directed. This is self-demolition, self-disarmament, the kind of internal work no one can do for you, the kind that reshapes the very architecture of self. The knife must be held by your own hand. There comes a time, if one walks far enough, listens long enough, lives wide enough, when the only barrier left between the self and the real is the self itself. That is to say, the final blockage is the one holding the shovel, the very structure of I, with its needs and memories and stories, becomes the prison from which the soul must escape. And escape is a bad metaphor, for it implies fleeing. But this work, the work of D.I.Y. destruction, is not about escape. It's about excavation. You want truth, you want freedom, you want to be whole, then get to digging. But do not ask someone else to do it for you. No therapist, no lover, no friend. They may accompany you to the edge of the hole. They may hold a light, but the hammer must be swung by your own hands. The wall must be taken down one brick at a time, and each brick bears your name. 2. What is done right? The phrase suggests that there is a correct way to do this destruction, that it's not simply enough to implode. Chaos can tear down a building, yes, but if you want something done right, if you want to become something other than rubble, then you must know where to place the charges, which walls bear weight, which beams, if broken, release you, which, if shattered prematurely, collapse you. It is possible to destroy yourself in 1,000 unhelpful ways. Addiction, shame, blame. These are pre-made kits sold at every corner shop of culture. They masquerade as D.I.Y., but they're just another system, another spell, another way of remaining stuck. No, true destruction of the self is wholly mathematical, slow, and the deepest irony, it is also the most loving thing you will ever do. Third, ego death as divine architecture. The phrase ego death gets tossed around like it's a patch you can sew onto your jacket after a weekend retreat. But true ego death is not an experience. It is a process, a dismantling, not a surrender in the moment, but a removal of the moment maker. To undergo ego death is to perform D.I.Y. destruction at the level of identity formation. It is to finally see that the stories you've been telling about yourself, who you are, what you're worth, what you've been through, what you'll never be, are narrative armor. You crafted them once to protect yourself, but they have since become the jail. To dismantle them is to become naked in the deepest sense, to undo your reflection until there is only mirror, to look in and see nothing, and then everything. IV. You cannot delegate your becoming. Here is the trap. Many will try to outsource their awakening. They will pay for it, chase it, charm it out of spiritual leaders, or lock it behind lovers' eyes. But that final door, the one that leads to unity, to wholeness, to peace, is a locked room with only your hand inside it. That is the secret cost of becoming free. You must do it to yourself, not because others wouldn't help, but because they can't. They cannot see what only you were meant to notice. They cannot break what was built specifically to withstand all others. Only your hands know the weak points. Only your tears soften the mortar. And this is what makes the journey sacred. It is not because it is grand. It is because it is yours.
V. The paradox of liberation through destruction. To destroy the self is to discover what was never self to begin with. You tear down what you thought was you, and the dust settles on silence. And silence is not empty, it is full of light. You will not emerge as a better version of your old self. You will not be a 2.0 edition. You will not emerge at all. What walks out is not you. It is the thing that was there before the stories began, the breath before the name, the eye behind the seeing. And from that place, you may build, or you may rest, or you may do nothing at all, but it will not be obligation. It will not be compulsion. It will not be the scrambling of the ego chasing its own tail through accomplishment. It will be the quiet work of freedom. 6. A note to the frightened. This path is not for everyone. Not everyone is called to total DIY destruction. Some are here to tend the garden, some to sing, some to build cities and heal children. But if you are called, if you feel the gnawing itch inside your skin, the one that says there's something underneath all this, then take heed. The process is irreversible. Once begun, it will continue. You will lose friends. You will scare your parents. You will wake up some mornings and not recognize your own face. You will die in small, beautiful ways, over and over again, until one day the dying stops, because there is nothing left to die. Only light, only sky, only breath, and the work continues. But now, it is not done to yourself. It is done as yourself. 7. How to begin. Tell the truth. To yourself first. Name the armor. List your identities. Where did they come from? Dismantle one, slowly, gently, with gratitude. Notice what remains. Sit with it. Ask no questions. Repeat. Do not rush. This is not a sprint to a better self. This is a slow turning inward until the one who turns becomes the turning. 8. Final words. If you want something done right, then you have to do it to yourself. Let it be said that the right thing is not always the easy thing, nor the praised thing, nor the visible thing, but it is always the real thing. To take up the tools, to mark the lines, to demolish, to grieve, to breathe, to be. That is the gift of DIY destruction, not the ruin, but the revelation, not the end, but the unveiling, not the self, but the self. Thank you for listening.